right, here we are. I'm sitting here with the PMTT Cave Run Lief Labs Spring Shootout winners, Nate Osfer and Brian Krell. It was a great tournament. You guys, I mean, just phenomenal. Over $19,000 they won this weekend. You guys, first time teaming up for a PMTT event. You both have fished a lot in the past. Both Northern Wisconsin guys, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, both of you. Do you guys have similar patterns or styles or techniques when you're out there working? I mean, you teamed up well first time you win a tournament.
We fished very similar, even before we knew each other. We fished pretty similarly. A lot of deeper rubber, trying to kind of get away from what other people are doing, although deeper rubber's rapidly becoming what more and more people are doing because it works so well, so we have to get out of our comfort zone.
Sure. And I know you guys you're both weed fishermen. You love the weeds. I know you've kicked butt over the years. You've done well. You both have done well. Nothing here. I mean, it's very dismal on weeds, especially this early. Later in the year, there's weed development. How did you attack this? Was there, I mean, you've been here before. You've never been here. So get here, maybe a little intimidating, maybe not.
Well, when we first started driving around looking at stuff, we actually found some pretty good weeds, and I was like, whoa, this ain't gonna be bad. And then we started fishing it, and it just wasn't looking right. So then we just started bouncing around a little more. And like Nate said, kind of got out of our comfort zone a little bit. And that's basically how we got them.
And you came up with a pattern, rock and wood, I think you said.
Yeah, rock and wood, and it seemed like it wasn't the slate type rock, it was the smaller rock, clean shorelines, no weeds. That seemed to be the area they liked, and we found one small concentration of fish and got lucky, I guess, but.
Yeah, and we were working with other guys there. You said you followed another team through Tate or Ty or something like that, and you guys came back too. So it's not like, you were doing something different because there are other guys working the same area as you. So, it's not like it's unknown. What made you come up with it? Was it windblown? Just came by it looked better than some? There's a lot of rock and wood out here.
Well, it was adjacent to some of the deep wood we had found and actually yesterday before it eased out, I mean, we flew around to 5 or 6 spots and graphed and looked at bait, and the bait was set up right on the 2 spots we looked at, and naturally I went to the third spot we didn't look at, but he caught a fish, so it worked out. When we went back to the other 2 spots, bait just didn't look right, and I guess I had lost a fish in deep wood jigging, and on Wednesday we went back there and decided we'd try that again, and we saw behind us catch a fish on very similar shoreline, and we said that shoreline over there, let's go try it.
Yeah,
That's how we found it.
Yeah,
I mean,
nothing wrong with that at all, right? I mean,
it's a tournament, you're gonna do what you gotta do to win.
being out of water too, sometimes it's all it is, right? You see that, and you're like, oh, we need to try that. Especially when I think you said a bass guy popped one, and you're like, we need to, yeah, that's what it is sometimes, right? First tournament together, or you guys have fished more before. Any arguing, fighting, you guys get along, same kind of demeanor in the boat? I mean, is it?
Oh yeah, we get along really well.
Yeah.
I mean, well, when you win and you're catching fish, everybody's happy you're getting along, right? But
Well, even when we were catching, like pre-fishing and everything else, we get along well.
We get along well. There's no fighting. I mean,
We
everybody gets cranky when they're not catching fish and when things aren't going well. And like I said, he puts up with my moodiness at times, and I don't yell or scream or throw things, but days get long when things aren't working. I like to catch fish, and I like to win.
yeah, preparing for this one, it's different this year than any other time we've been down here. I mean, it's more progressed along. I'm guessing that probably added to it also because you were fishing more isolated instead of the community spots, right? I mean, the community spots are giant down here in the spring, right?
Yes.
Scotts Creek, the Flat, everybody knows, and you're in there just trying to get one on the board first. This probably helped you guys that you were able to get out and isolate some different spots away from that, right? I mean, yeah, everything coming in the net clean, any issues, anything like that?
I guess the one I caught on the jig, it jumped as it got closer to the boat, but those single hooks generally stay pretty locked in. And,
Not a jig fisherman.
not a jig fisherman, first muskie ever on a jig, but
Crazy.
I guess that's the one thing I really enjoy about fishing tournaments is, forcing you to try new things and develop, new tactics, and I got a new way to catch fish.
Yeah, I've seen you do it over the years. I've seen both you guys do it. Followed you more, obviously, and I've seen you you're throwing bulldogs one tournament, next one you're throwing tubes. I mean, that's, is it, because sometimes the baits are pretty similar. What makes you guys come up with like that? Is it, because when you won one on tubes, I mean, now you're back out here throwing a jig. I mean, is it trial and error, or?
Yeah, I mean, we threw a lot of tubes pre-fishing, and
Didn't work?
I had the one bite jigging a tube,
Okay.
but that was the only fish we contacted on a tube. And he threw one quite a bit yesterday. I mean, we were cycling, we do a lot of cycling baits, especially when we think we're on fish. And, most of the time you have more. The amount of fish contacts was down for me here than it has been in years past. Usually you get a little clues as to you're doing something right, but you're doing something wrong, and then you just adjust. But more or less we, found shad, figured we were on fish, until he saw one, and we just kept cycling baits until something worked, I guess. And
You guys didn't need it. You won almost 20 grand. Thinking back, are you like, wow, we should have done this different? We should have came here early. We should have came early. We shouldn't have. Anything you think back that you guys might have changed, Brian, that you might have done different at this event?
I mean, not really. I mean, maybe fished a couple spots, a little bit earlier in the daytime, or fished them a little more yesterday, but other than that, I have no regret.
Yeah, you need anything you want to?
No, I think we should have probably tried more of, it's a good learning experience that there wasn't a lot of, there was wood, but it wasn't the, submerged trees that looked great. There was wood laydowns here and there, but it was pretty sparse cover. And I guess you always tend to think, muskies are, ambush hunters predominantly a lot of the time. So you're fishing weeds, and weeds, wood, anything like that. And check the cleaner areas, check the rocks, I have caught a lot of fish off rocks in Wisconsin. So maybe, next time I'm down here, I'm definitely gonna try that sooner rather than later. I guess.
Right. Well, awesome. So the next tournament is Madison. Either you guys know this lake. I know you've fished it before. You fished it, nope. So
I've never been there either. No.
how are you gonna prep for this? Do anything to probably get down pre-fish? Can you get feedback from all the guys? How are you gonna go into the next one in Madison?
I do know a lot of the local guys down there that fish the water. I've fished it a fair amount. We fished for the tournament not last year, but 2016,
Yeah,
something like that. Matt and I tied Micklets and ended up taking second. So I mean, we had good pattern back then. I've gone in there in the fall quite a few times and fished with a good friend of mine, and he's a pretty knowledgeable guy. So I'm sure I'll be asking him. Probably get down there maybe a weekend in May and just graph stuff and check the lake out. And I think we got a couple days of pre-fishing planned, so we'll see what happens.
Yep. Awesome. Cave Run Lake winners, $20,000, guys, just about there. Awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Nice job.
Thanks.